but is now Bethune-Cookman University, which is an HBCU. Its quality far surpassed the standards of education for African American students and rivaled those of white schools. Bethune worked tirelessly to ensure funding for the school and used it as a showcase for tourists and donors to exhibit what educated African American people can do. She was president of the college from 1923 to 1942 and from 1946 to 1947. One of the few women in the world who served as a college president at that time. Some fun facts: Miss Bethune was an advisor to President Franklin D. Roosevelt and a mentor of the late Dorothy Height. On a more playful note, Ruth Handler was a Caucasian woman born in 1916 in Denver, Colorado. She was the inventor of the Barbie doll, which she named after her daughter Barbara. When she took a trip to Germany, she took an interest in the Build Lily adult doll. It wasn't actually for children. It was kind of like a gag gift for adults. But she took an interest to it, and she got it from a Swiss shop, and she brought it back here, and she modified the model and debuted it in the New York Toy Fair on March the 9th, 1959. Miss Handler died after complications from a colon cancer surgery. Ever since 1959, Barbie has been at the top of every little girl's Christmas list and has served as a self-esteem booster for girls as well for a little over 50 years. Let's face it, wouldn't it be nice to live in Barbie's dream house rent-free or to travel in her private jet? Speaking of jetting, how about Valentina Tereshkova, who became the first woman and civilian in space? She was born in Central Russia in 1937 and migrated to the United States at the beginning of the 20th century. She was truly a woman of experimentation. Her first job was as a textile factory assembly worker, then a parachutist, then a cosmonaut, and then she became a prominent leader of the Soviet Union. She is now a retired parachutist, cosmonaut, and politician. She still remains revered as a hero in Russia. Now I want to stop right there and draw some parallels. These three women were all born in a time when they were thought to be less than the outstanding innovators that they were just because of their sex, just because they were female, because they were women. But these women understood the power that they possessed. All three influenced and changed and challenged women's and men's ideals, especially about the vast capacities a woman has to change the world. Bethune, Handler, and Tereshkova all knew that the limitations of life are not what other people say or how they feel about you, but the only limitations there are the ones you make for yourself in your mind. As for women, we must not limit ourselves to the endless possibilities that are available. We as women have to work hard to uplift our beautiful image and cast out negative, stereotypical representations that do not speak to that beauty. We are smart, we are beautiful, we are powerful, and we are well equipped with contemplative minds and willing hearts. Women are the birthers of the world. We have the power to influence people to be excited and active for a cause that they've never thought about or even cared about before. We have the power to tap into men's emotional sides. We have the power to knock people out in an evening gown. Yes. For the young ladies in the crowd, and I know there's one back there who's about to transition into high school, and my friend is running late, and she's in high school, but anyway. I challenge you to think about that woman or women who have made a difference in your life, and we all have one. As a matter of fact, I challenge everyone in this room to think about that woman or women, that if it were not for them, you would not be where you are today. For me, that woman is my grandmother, Miss Veronica Elizabeth Wright. She has always been there for me mentally and physically when I needed a hug or a tickle. And Financially, she has made a way even when she had no money. And most of all, spiritually, she always corrected and still corrects my English. If she hears me say, well, I don't really say this anymore, but if she heard me say, I ain't got, or, you know, they be doing such and such, then she would say, wait a minute, Yasmine, don't you mean I do not have, they are going, or they are doing X, Y, and Z? I thank her so much for it because she cared enough and understood that people do watch what we do as minorities and as women and often judge us based off of that. She was there for me when my mother died, when my father was in jail, and he still is, and didn't have a dime. She was there for every promotion, for every speech, and if she wasn't there in person, she was there in spirit. And you know, I felt her, and I always think about, you know, her words and her femininity. Did I say that right? You know, before I give a speech. But anyway, I love her, and